Welcome to update number 6 of the R.M.S. Titanic. So, it's been a little over a year now, 2 months to be exact. I started this model back in March 31st, 2019. And so now here we are. Update number 6, like I said. And how much have I got done? Well, based on the past videos that you've seen, I really haven't got a whole lot. I haven't got as much done as I wanted to get done by now. I was almost really hoping to be pretty much done the model by now, but you know, life gets busy. You have many different things to attend to, especially when you're still working. I'm not retired at all, so I don't have a lot of time to do videos like this, and but I still like doing videos like this and building the models and stuff like that. So that way I want to keep at it. I want to keep going, and I am going to get this model done. So just to update a little bit then. So as you've seen in the past, I've got this much done here. Now there is still the railings that's got to be put on here, and a couple cranes once the other deck gets put on top of that. And also I have to install the ship's wheel. Now the ship's wheel, okay, so because I put the photo etch on here, as you can see, the photo etch, now since I put that photo etch on there, the ship's wheel that comes with the model is to me too big and out of scale. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I can actually put the ship's wheel back in there and with making it to make it look right. So that's that. Now the foredeck is right here, and as you can see, I've got that done like I've shown you in the past. I still have photo etch to put in here. I still have the chain, anchor chain to put on, and there's still the foremast that's got to go on and that kind of stuff on here. So there's quite a bit. Oh yes, and the railing to go around there as well. So there's still quite a bit to be done on that. I've shown in my last update these here. They're ready to start putting things together. And this piece here, which I'm currently working on right now, it's coming along pretty good. So since my last video though, I have installed the photo etch on here, and this piece of photo etch that's on here, I need to take this off because looking at other pictures and stuff that people have done on the Titanic, either some of them have painted the grill gray, or the other ones have painted the inside gray. So when you put the white grill over top, it shows the gray up through. So I think that's the route I'm going to take with that and do that. So this part here, the photo etch that you see, the brass part, that needs to be painted white, and then the funnel is going to fit down over top of that. So that's that part of the model. So speaking about that, the main thing I really wanted to talk about in this video is, like I've mentioned, it's been taking me a long time to get this done, and there's been a lot of times where I've started to build it, got a little bit done, and then I've had to leave it for quite a long time, and then come back and figure, okay, where did I leave off? What was I doing? That kind of stuff. So I found myself having to retrace and redo some stuff because I've missed things by leaving it sit too long. So going forward with that, I think I've got myself a little bit of a plan developed, which I'll show you once I spin this little camera around. I think I've got a plan developed which is going to help me go forward and get this model done once and for all, and not forget where I'm at if and when I do have to put it up for a little bit more. I do plan on trying to get more done on this sooner than later, and hopefully get this ship finished here before the end of summer for sure. Anyways, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm gonna spin this around here, and I'll show you my little plan to keep things going. Alrighty, see you in a bit. Okay, so before I move into my little plan that I was telling you about, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this part here. Now, I went ahead, and as you've seen in the past videos, I went ahead and I've assembled, well, look at that. That helps me actually. I'll tell you why in a minute. I went ahead and I assembled the stacks. I put the stacks together and I added the railing to it, added the piping, and was going to leave it as that based on the instructions that I saw. So as you can see, here's the other one here with the ladder. Now, why I'm talking about this is when I'm kind of developing my plan to get ready to help myself keep organized and on track, I found that, I put them together correctly as per these instructions right here. As you can see, item 1 on the left there is smokestack number 1, and 2, 3, and 4 are funnels, I should say. Funnels number 2, 3, and 4, which are all the same. Number 1 is a shorter funnel than the rest. But anyways, I put it together as per these directions here, which is ultimately correct. But when you add the photo etch portion of this model into it, I didn't really do it correct. If you look at the photo etch instructions, you'll see up here in the top corner funnel number 1 and funnels 2, 3, and 4. Now what that tells me is these brackets here on the funnels need to be removed. So that means these brackets right here, I have to take them off. Now I've gone ahead and started doing that with this one here. So you can see once I get these pieces here sanded and chipped out of there, it'll look better. In hindsight though, knowing about this part of the task before gluing the halves together would have made things a heck of a lot easier, but unfortunately I missed that, and here I am now doing that. Now the other part of the photo etch instructions that I noticed is right here, and this shows you for for funnel number 1 uses ladder number 87 here, and then for funnel number 4 uses 88 or 86, I should say, and then brackets 88 that go on there. So basically this is what the funnels are going to look like after the photo etch is done. Now the funnels I just showed you don't have these section added on them just yet. That does come later on in the build, but I may go ahead and do that as I do this to make sure it's all done once and for all. Just to show you one of the reasons why I think, or I feel I want to go and get the photo etch done. Let me just put this on a piece of white paper so you can hopefully see it better, and get it the right way around. So as you can see right here is the ladder for funnel number 1. Now funnel number 1 ladder is right here, which I have taken apart already. And if I put that down beside it, you can see the difference. Let me see if I can focus in a little bit more on that just to show you. You can really see the difference in the two pieces, whereas the photo etch is way more detailed and way more to scale than the ladder that comes with the kit. So this is the reason why I don't want to leave the funnels done the way I did them, I want to step back and do them properly and make sure it's done as per the photo etch, because it's going to make the model look that much better. So I'm going to stop this for a minute. I'm just going to get ready to show you my little plan going forward, how I'm going to stay on track with this build, and I'm going to continue with these funnels for now, get them finished, get them set up, and then after that's all done, I'll be back with another little update to show you where I'm at that time. So bear with me for a minute, and I'll be right back. All right, so how am I going to stay on track? Well, this here is the instructions that come with the kit. So as you can see in here, it has a lot of the instructions detailed, along with photographs of what things look like on the ship, so on and so forth. Now, one thing I like to do when I'm building models, depend on how many instructions there are, of course, and stuff like that, but one thing I like to do is I like to make a photocopy of the instructions, so that way I can just have that one page in front of me, and I can look at it, manipulate it, do what I want to do with it. I can write on it to give myself some notes and ideas, so I don't, so I can follow along with what I'm doing with the model. Like this here, for instance, number 17. This piece here is made up of 4 different parts from the sprue to be installed onto here. Now, in actual fact, when you look at the photo etch instructions, this whole piece minus this one right here is actually photo etch. So I've wrote on here photo etch, so I can remember that. Now also on the actual piece itself, the deck piece, I mean, right here, there's ladders, one here, actually basically on each corner here, and then there's these pieces here which act as railing, is what I gathered they would be. So the photo etch instructions tell me that these pieces here and the ladders all need to be removed. So then you remove them, you install the decking on it, you install all these items on it, and then the ladders, or the stairs I should say, going back up to the deck are item number 56 in the photo etch. So these ladders will be photo etch added back on, and those items that were the so-called railings that we cut off, well, there's actually going to be photo etch railing that goes all the way around this deck. So that's a little description of this step itself. So as you can tell, just by a little step like this, there's quite a bit of stuff involved in this, and which requires a lot of research ahead of time and a lot of documentation as you're doing it. So you can see we're doing a little bit of this. Say I build this, and then I have to put this back on the shelf and do whatever else I have to do, and then a week or 2 or 3 or a month or whatever later, I have to come back and I'm like, okay, well, where was I? What was I doing with this? So the way I'm going to do that is to document it as I'm going. But before I do that, I just wanted to show you the photo etch instructions. So like I said, this step here shows you the assembly on this deck. Now, if you look, right in here is a little bit of a picture of that deck. So it shows that piece of photo etch on there. Plus, it shows some other photo etch on here that you don't see on here. So you've got to keep that in mind. The underside of this shows you photo etch parts that have to be added on to other parts of the deck of the ship, but not necessarily all the parts on that piece right there. Mind you, I stand corrected. I just found the item I was looking for on here, and it's right in front of my face. So if you look at step number 17, which is here, you look at the shape of that. That is this deck right here. So just like I said, it shows that, well, this doesn't show it, but this shows the addition of the photo etch. So there's going to be railing going back on where I cut that, well, where I cut the railing off plus more. It shows the ladders right here that are going to be going on. It shows that observation deck that's got to be put on there, plus those extra pieces that I showed you in that photograph. So here is the photo etch installation part for this step right here. Also, along with that step, shows you here that same part, and then this is where it shows you what is to be removed. So this color here on here has to be removed. So when you look at this part, like I showed you before, it shows you these two pieces or three pieces here, which are these three, have to be cut off. These three have to be cut off. These two have to be cut off, and these two have to be cut off. They're removed out of the way, so you can in turn look at this and install the photo etch and all these pieces on here the way it's supposed to be done. So you can see how fun it is to follow along with this, follow along with this, and follow along with this to get the job done. So just another thing to show you here on the back side of this is also the decking that's got to go on. So again, if you look at this piece here, that's the shape right there. Here it is again, right here, item number 7. So there is the decking that's got to go down on here. So now I'm looking at it thinking, okay, well, I need to cut all this stuff off with this picture here, and then I need to smooth it out. I need to take this piece here and install it onto that piece of plastic or styrene. Then I need to build the photo etch parts and put them on here. Now I also have to keep in mind what color pieces like this and these and stuff are going to be, which it shows me the colored keynotes right here, which is pretty much flat white for pretty much all of it. But if I look at that and I look at these reference pictures here, actually the reference pictures right here, so you can tell here it calls out for white for all these parts, which is fine. It doesn't say what color to paint this piece here, which is this right here that's going to be exposed. So looking at this picture here, I can see it's going to be the flat gray, which I've been using. So what I'm probably going to want to do then is I'm going to want to paint this piece flat gray first, then put the veneer deck down, or no, cut these off, then put the veneer deck down, then paint the other items and glue them down, and then that'll be done. So I've just talked myself through that whole plan on what I'm going to do on step 17 when I get to it. So saying that, how am I going to keep track of this? Well, what I've done is I've put together this little book here. Now you can do it on a computer or whatever, but I tend to, I don't necessarily always have my computer with me down in my shop when I'm working, so I tend to like to make notes, write journals and stuff like that as I'm doing things. So for now, I've put this together here, and I just said completed steps. So in this book, in the instruction manual, it goes from step 1 all the way up to step 43. So what I've done then is I've listed step 1 all the way down to step 43. So as you can see, I really only touched steps 1 up to 16. We just talked about 17 there just now. and I reviewed step 18 a little bit here. So what I've done then is I've put a tick mark beside all the steps that are actually complete, and I feel I don't have any more to do with them. I've ticked them off. The steps that I'm currently working on, or have done some on it, and there's still some to do yet. I've put an IP beside that, in progress. Maybe some of them, well, actually all of them on here have a little note beside it. So this says in progress, step number 6, PE yet to be installed. Okay, so when I look at that step, I'll probably figure out what PE is yet to be installed. Number 7 here, I think I talked about this in my intro. What's left to do here is the ship's wheel. Something else looking at that now too, I remember, is the railings have to go on as well. So anyways, in here is like a little description of trigger points. So when I do go away and come back, I can look at that step and say, oh yes, that's what I was doing. I remember now. Okay, I can carry on with that. I've also got another column here that I put in, and basically what that says is no PE or PE. And just to make it jump out a little bit when I'm looking at it, I've circled where it says PE. Now, as you can see down here, number 17, I haven't started it yet, but I know there's PE involved. When I look at it, which I just talked with you, there is PE involved. I could even go further and say veneer deck as well. So I know that step's going to involve all that. So along with that will come the cutting off of parts and stuff like that. So as I get time, downtime, while I'm waiting for something to dry, like paint or glue or something like that, what I really should be doing then is going ahead in the instructions on all these steps here and giving myself little notes like this as to what involves PE, what doesn't involve PE, what involves the deck, what doesn't involve the deck. Maybe even little notes in here when I look at it to say, okay, I got to look at this piece here and do this and do that, that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is my attempt here to keep myself on track. So especially with a model this detailed, with, as you can see, this many documents to go through, it's really cumbersome, and not working at it all the time, you can really see why you can get yourself off track, and you could end up needing to backtrack like I'm doing with these funnels, and redoing these with the photo etch so they're going to look proper. And also in my past videos I've talked a little bit about this as well, where I've went and I installed all the decking down on here, and then I thought, oh man, these items here, which are the cradles for the rescue boats, for lack of better terms, but they're supposed to be white. Well, I didn't paint them before I put the decking down, so therefore I had to tape all that out, which is really time consuming and stuff like that. So another reason that I just thought of now for documenting and keeping yourself on track that way is so you don't have to backtrack and do things like that, because doing this is a whole night of rework that I had to do, where I could have been continuing with the build, and really I could have been a lot further than I am now, especially with the funnels. I've got 4 funnels now to tear apart and redo, and with these pieces already glued together like this, cutting these pieces off, as you can see with this one here, it's not the easiest task, because there is a lot of cleanup that I'm going to have to do to make this look good. So that's update number 6. I don't think I need to ramble on anymore about this. Just wanted to point that out, so that way if anybody is in the same boat I'm in, and don't have a lot of time all the time to dedicate to building, this is one way that I think is going to really help to keep me on track and keep me moving forward with this build so I don't miss anything and I'm happy with it when it's done. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video and looking forward to seeing you on the next update. Thanks. Bye.